There's a school in Ukambani. I think it is called Mumbuni High School. The students went on strike twice, and the third time it is the parents who have gone on strike. The parents are complaining about being overcharged by the head teacher. The students went on strike second term. Parents were told to pay 3,000 per student for the damages. They again went on strike on third term. Now the parents are supposed to pay 6,000 for damages. So the parents said, where do we get this money? And then they went and rioted at the gate of the school, and the head teacher had to call for police reinforcement. I think the first thing first, before these parents insist that they want the education officials and they want the head teachers and to account for the 3,000, now it is 6,000 shillings. They wanted, they should first of all have a meeting with their own children. Because this is a situation where students strike or riot, they ban things, the parents go, the parents pay for it. I think the best thing is for people, especially teachers and parents, should talk to the students, finding out a solution, because if they are being asked for 6,000, the students will again ban the school and the parents will be asked for 9,000. I think the students should be told that, and with the special emphasis on the point that whatever damage they do, it is they are punishing their own parents or guardians. I think we should start from that. But then, these strikes have been happening, especially boarding schools. Where during my school days, 90% of the schools were day schools. And today, 90% of schools are boarding schools. So you find that hearing of a riot or anything from a day school is a bit hard to find. So you'll find that during my time, there were strikes and whatever, but there were not as many as today, because today you'll have to look for a day school. It's really hard to find a day school nowadays. But during my time, it was really hard to find a boarding school. But let me tell you one thing. For the 2 years, 1980 and 81, that I was at Bungoma High School, there is no day we rioted within the school. It was because of one reason. We were staying in dormitories with broken windows. We were in dormitories with broken windows. We were in a classroom with the broken windows, labs and everything. And this is what had happened. In 1978, students of the same school, 2 years before I joined that school, students of the same school had rioted because of the then headmaster, who was called, I think, Mr. Nyongesa. They had rioted and were sent home. When they were sent home, when they were recalled, those days it was, I don't know whether it is still that way. Those days it used to be this way. You are sent home. When you go home, you come back at the gate, you have to clear the following things. Do you have an outstanding school fees? If you have an outstanding school fees of even a shilling, you not enter. And two, the board of governors had already set aside for each and every student. But if I remember very well, even up to today, most of the people who start riots in secondary schools are children from rich families. Children from poor families. Yes, we have some who make riots, but majority of the people who do that are from rich students. Now here is a student from a poor background, maybe even an orphan. He does not participate in the riot. He broke no window, but he's being told that for him to re-enter school, he has to clear. He could be in Form 3 or Form 4, but his school fees is up to Form 2. Now you find that he has to clear the Form 3 fees, he has to clear the Form 4, and he has to pay something for the damages. Now what happened in Bungoma High? After students had paid for the damages, no single structure was repaired. Remember, I've just told you that we used to sleep in dormitories without windows, with broken windows, classrooms and libraries and laboratories and so on. They were, during cold time, we used to have it rough. So students decided that they will never riot within the school. And actually, for the period that I was there, 80-81, no strike happened within the school. No strike happened within the school. I have followed a few cases. You'd find that, let us take the case of this school we are talking about today. The head teacher has just written a letter saying that he has made estimates with the relevant people, including Ministry of the ministry in charge of constructing houses, roads, and whatever. And he has been given that figure. Now, whether do we have, can we believe that that is the figure? Because they did it alone. Two, are we sure that after payment of that, the school will be repaired? From the example from Bungoma High, you see that at the best, school can be repaired or partly repaired, but the head teacher will pocket something. Another thing I want to talk about, rioting, school rioting, and school fires. Have you noticed that we rarely have fires during first term, second term? Fires usually come in the third term. A week or so towards the examination. Just when the examination are about to start, that is when you find from the east you'll hear school burning. From the west, you'll before even 2 or 3 days, you'll find out of the 47 counties, around seven have already reported numerous fire in school. And you see, those fires don't go anywhere. Unless I'm wrong, have you noticed that all fires do come from dormitories? We have never had classroom burning. We have never had a dining room burning. It is always the dormitories. But then, if you can give this video to a student, just ask a question. We have a case where a student can be sick. Yes, in some schools, they have a sick bay, whereby every morning, healthy students escort the sick students to a small place that acts like a ward. They call it sick bay, so that all the dormitories are locked during class time. But then we have a few cases I've come across when I was in the police. Someone is sick and this school does not have a sick bay. And you light up the fire without knowing that there is somebody else who is, without knowing that there is somebody else who is sick in that. You kill that person. You also light the fire. You have your own grievances, yes. Some are genuine, a few are genuine. But let me tell you one thing. You went to that school for education. Just persevere for those 4 years. I hear nowadays schools, they say that they that each and every school you go, apart from Kinalenana and so on, but each and every school you go, students always say that ukitoka hii shule na ufungwe jela, hautateseka upande wa chakula, because hii chakula tunakula kama ya mabusu. All students do that. Okay, assume you are in jail for 4 years. It's going to be 3. Assume you are in jail for those few years. Persevere, complete, go out. Go out. There is a plan to change a system, because nowadays anybody who has committed any crime when he or she was under 18, that crime is not considered. But they are going to review what type of crime you have committed. If it is pickpocketing, then they can forget. But if it is something like homicide, you will live forever with that figure, with that name, a killer. I saw a case where a student of Moi Girls Nairobi, where she burned and killed others. And it was investigated. It was said that she repeatedly told her parents that she did not want that school. It is even said that she had even told people that if they insist on her being on that very school, she'll burn the school. Education is not medicine. Education is enlightenment. And enlightenment comes with somebody volunteering to be enlightened. You cannot force somebody to go to class. I can tell you from experience, personal experience. I'll tell you the truth. My father was very harsh. Imagine being number 4, he would beat me up like he would want to kill me. Later on, he told me that he knew I could do better than what I was doing, and that is why he was beating me. But there are some siblings of mine, someone comes number 12 or number 13, and dad enters, he beats me up, leaves me, takes them to Adam's Arcade to buy them ice cream. But later he told me that he knew I was bright. He knew that I could be better than number 4. I've never been number 1, 2, 3. But in professionally, I've never been number 1. But professionally, several courses at CID and Special Branch, I used to be number 2 only, coincidentally. Kiganjo, I used to perform badly, but CID training school and Special Branch training school, I used to perform very well. So my father knew that I was a good student, a bright student, and he would beat me even when I got number 4. Of course, there's no time I became number 1. I don't know how he would have treated me if I were to be number 1. But then, there is my immediate follower, a sister. When it came to schools, she even after being treated in primary, she used to be anakuja number 17 out of 25 na ananunuliwa ice cream Adam's Arcade. But then when she reached secondary school, masomo ilikataa. And I can tell you without any fear of contradiction that among my siblings, wale wanasumbua sana ni wale, they have never seen the class form 3. My sister went to 3 different schools in form 1 and form 2. And she spent 4 years in form 1 and form 2. My brother, who who follows her, was in Bungoma High School with me in Form 1. It was really a struggle. It was like being in two classes. I'm doing my form 6 and at the same time mentoring him too, but it was just a problem. Uh, Form 2, Form 2, he did Form 2 for 3 years. Yes, 1982, he was in Form 2. 1983, he was in Form 2. 1984, he was in Form 2. Not because he was it was during those days when you are among the last few people to, like if you are 20 in class, number 16 up to 20, the last quarter, it was compulsory for them to repeat. No, it was not that way, why he repeated. He went to Bungoma High School, Form 1. Form 2, he went to Kakamega High School. The same Form 2 again, the same Form 2 again, he went to a private school in Mombasa. And the case used to be the same. He's given fees. Those days you'd be given fees. You are given fees plus pocket money plus whatever. And then coincidentally, somebody passes in the school when they're about to sit for the exams. And he's just told, is the child sick or anything? Or if you are having problems with the fees, why don't you let the kid study? You can always settle the fees later. But you say, no, I gave him money. He had never stepped here. I was giving an example, personal experience of people who, and they're very bright. They're very bright, these two, plus a stepsister of mine. They are very bright in Kuchimba malls. You see a tree being what? Drying without knowing that there is a mall underground. But anyway, my point here is sit down with the kid, and that is why we have competent-based curriculum. Sit down with the kid. If the kid really does not want to learn, education is not health. In Kenya's law, if you are sick and you don't go to hospital, then you can be jailed for that. But in Kenya, if you decide to stupidly not want to go to school, just stay. We have some people who never went to school and they are very rich. So that is one thing I would want to tell those students. And I want to tell those parents, teachers, and whatever. If the kid does not want to learn, just call him, do whatever. I had a friend called Zedekia Muiga. Yeah, he was called Zedekia Muiga in Nakuru. He was the second born. He was the second born and the only son of a single mother. He had several sisters. There is one day he woke up in the night and found his mother awake. And he told his mom, I know you are awake because school fees is a problem. Kindly educate my sisters and let me not go to school because you cannot afford all of us. As a family, they sat down and they decided he'll not continue study. The sisters were educated. The sisters are very senior people in the country. And they really take care of him, even to date. So I'm telling you, masomo ikikataa, just leave. Just leave. Parents accept, teachers accept, even students accept. There is a case of Nairobi girls where this kid, I've already said that, where this kid was told, who had said she didn't want that school. Now she ended up in jail and she ended up with a conscience for her whole life. This is third term, and it is a time when coincidentally all fires break off. It is also coincidental that this is the time when exams are there and the parents are usually the ones to pay for that. And once the parents pay for that, as I said, the head teachers laugh all the way to the bank. So please, if you don't want to be educated, don't be educated.